Hello guys, this is me Sir EJ, your math tutor, and in today's video we will be continuing our topic last time, which is all about illustrating the probability of union and intersection of events. Last time, you have learned how to illustrate probability of union and intersection of two events using a Venn diagram and its corresponding formula, wherein the Venn diagram has two circles and those two circles indicate the two events which is given on the problem. So for today, we will be solving examples which consist of three events, and we will know how to solve it using the probability of union and intersection of events. So let's have our first example. The talents of General Emilio Aguinaldo National High School teachers, wherein we have a given Venn diagram here. We have event A for singing, event B for dancing, and event C for writing. We will answer the following sets of questions on the next slide. Let's have our first question. How many teachers are there in the school? To answer this question, all you need to do is to add all the numbers that are located inside and outside the circle. So adding the numbers, we have 85 plus 30 plus 5 plus 25 plus 90 plus 20 plus 60 plus 15 is equal to 330. Therefore, the total number of General Emilio Aguinaldo National High School teachers is equal to 330. Let's have our second question. What is the probability of teachers having a talent in singing? So to solve for this, we will be using the formula for simple probability because this is an example of simple probability. So this is just a simple event. We will identify the given. The sample space is equal to 330, which we have already computed earlier on the first question. So this is equal to 330. And we will be looking for the event outcomes. To get the number of event outcomes, all we need to do is to look at the circle A, because A represents the teacher which can sing. So we will look at circle A. So this is circle A, and what we need to do here is we will add all the numbers inside the circle A. And we will substitute it with the number of event outcomes. So we have 85 plus 30 plus 5 plus 25 all over the total number of possible outcomes in sample space, which is equal to 330. And we will simplify. So we have probability of event A equals 85 plus 30 plus 5 plus 25 is equal to 145 all over 330. And we will get the lowest term of 145 over 330, which is equal to 29 over 66. Therefore, the probability of the teacher having a talent in singing is equal to 29 over 66. The next question, what is the probability of teachers having a talent in dancing? So this is also an example of simple probability. So we will be using the formula for simple probability, and we will be identifying the given. Again, the number of sample space is equal to 330, and we will get the number of event outcomes. The number of event outcomes is equal to event B or circle B. all we need to do is to add all the numbers inside circle B. We will be using the formula for simple probability. Probability of B equals number of event outcomes all over the total number of possible outcomes in the sample space. The number of event outcomes will be equal to 30 plus 5 plus 20 and plus 90. All we need to do is to add all the numbers inside circle B, which indicates dancing, and all over the total number of possible outcomes in the sample space. All in all, there are 330 teachers. And after that, we will be simplifying this. 30 plus 5 plus 20 plus 90 is equal to 145 all over 330. And we will get the lowest term of 145 over 330, which is equal to 29 over 66. So therefore, the probability of teachers having a talent in dancing is equal to 29 over 66. Next question, what is the probability of teachers having a talent in writing? So same process that we have applied on our earlier problems. We will be identifying again the given. The sample space is again equal to 330, and we will be solving, or we will be finding the number of event outcomes. And to do that, writing is on circle C or event C. All we need to do is to add those numbers inside circle C. And we will be using the formula for simple probability. Probability of C is equal to the number of event outcomes all over the total number of possible outcomes in sample space. And after that, the number of event outcomes will be 25 plus 5 plus 20 plus 60, all the numbers inside writing. And all over the total number of possible outcomes in sample space is equal to 330. Simplify, 25 plus 5 plus 20 plus 60 is equal to 110 over 330. And we will get the lowest term of 110 over 330, that is equal to 1/3. Therefore, the probability of teachers having a talent in writing is equal to 1/3. Next example, what is the probability of teachers having a talent in singing and writing? Since there is a word "and" in between the two events singing and writing, therefore this is an example of intersection of two events. So let's identify the given first. We have the sample space, which is equal to 330. There are 330 teachers. And to get the event outcomes, we will be looking at the portion wherein the events singing and writing overlaps with each other. So this is the circle for singing or event A. And this one is the circle for writing or event C. And we will look at the portion wherein the two circles overlap with each other. And this is the portion. And what we will do here is we will be adding the numbers to get the number of event outcomes. We will be using the formula for simple probability. Number of event outcomes all over the total number of possible outcomes in the sample space. We have 25 plus 5 all over the sample space, which is equal to 330. And then 25 plus 5 is equal to 30 over 330, get the lowest term, which is equal to 1 over 11. Therefore, the probability of teachers having a talent in singing and writing is equal to 1 over 11. Next example. What is the probability of teachers having a talent in writing and dancing? Since there is a word "and" again in between writing and dancing, this is an example of probability of intersection of events, wherein the events writing and dancing intersect with each other. We will be identifying the given, wherein the sample space is equal to 330, the total number of teachers, and then after that, we will be identifying the event outcomes. Now, to get the event outcomes, we will just look at circle C and circle B, writing and dancing, and we will see where those two circles overlaps with each other. And we will add those numbers. So we have 5 plus 20 for the event outcomes. And we will be using the formula of simple probability, number of event outcomes all over the total number of possible outcomes in the sample space. And we will be substituting those values. So we have 20 plus 5 all over the sample space, which is equal to 330. And we will simplify. 20 plus 5 is 25. All over 330, we will get the lowest term, which is equal to 5 over 66. Therefore, the probability of teachers having a talent in writing and dancing is equal to 5 over 66. How about the probability of teachers having a talent in singing and dancing? We have the word "and" again, so obviously this illustrates probability of intersection of events. We will be identifying the given. The sample space again is equal to 330, the number of teachers, and the event outcomes. To get the event outcomes, we will be looking at the event singing, wherein it indicates circle A, and dancing circle B. And we will get the portion wherein circle A and circle B overlaps with each other, and we will add the numbers within it. So we will add 30 plus 5, and that is the event outcomes. We will be using the formula of simple probability, number of event outcomes all over the total number of outcomes in the sample space. We will be substituting the corresponding value. The number of event outcomes is equal to 30 plus 5, which is equal to 35, all over 330. And then simplifying this will be equal to 7 over 66. Therefore, the probability of teachers having a talent in singing and dancing is equal to 7 over 66. Next question, what is the probability of teachers having a talent in singing or dancing? This time there is a word "or," and whenever there is a word "or," this is an example of probability of union of events. We will be identifying the given. Again, the sample space is equal to 330. We will be using the formula of probability of union of two events, wherein probability of event A plus probability of event B minus probability of event A intersection B. And we will be substituting the corresponding value, and we will be getting first the probability of A, in which to get the probability of A, we will look at this circle, and we have already computed it on our earlier example. So what we will do here is we will be adding these numbers over 330, and then the lowest term of that is 29 over 66, plus the probability of B, wherein we will be looking at the circle, so we will be adding 30 plus 90 plus 20 plus 5, all over 330. And we will be simplifying that. That is equal to 29 over 66. We have already solved it earlier again. Minus the probability of A intersection B. So A intersection B, so we will be getting 30 plus 5 as the event outcome, so 35 over 330, and its lowest term is 7 over 66. Again, this has already been computed on our earlier example. And then after this, after we have get the probability of A, probability of B, and probability of A intersection B, we will be adding and subtracting these numbers. Since this is a similar fraction, we will just copy the denominator and add and subtract the numerator. 29 plus 29 is equal to 58, minus 7 is equal to 51. So 51 over 66, we will get the lowest term, and that is equal to 17 over 22. Therefore, the probability of teachers having a talent in singing or dancing is equal to 17 over 22. Next, how about the probability of teachers having a talent in singing or writing? Since there is a word or, this is an example of probability of union of events. So what we will do here is we will identify again the given, which is equal to 330. We will be using the formula for the union of two events. Probability of A for singing plus probability of C, which is writing, minus the probability of A intersection C. We will be substituting the corresponding value. Probability of A is 29 over 66. We have already computed it earlier. Plus the probability of C, which is equal to 1/3. So we have 25 plus 5 plus 20 plus 60 all over 330. Then get the lowest term, and that is 1/3. Minus the probability of A intersection C is equal to 1 over 11. Again, these examples are already been computed on our earlier questions. So I have just substitute it with our problem. And then after that, we will be getting the least common denominator. So 66, 3, 11, the least common denominator is 66. And then 66 divided by 66 is 1. 1 times 29 is 29. 66 divided by 3 is 22. 22 times 1 is 22. And then 66 divided by 11 is 6. Times negative 1 is negative 6. After that, we will just add the numerator. So 29 plus 22 minus 6 is equal to 45 over 66. And get the lowest term, that is equal to 15 over 22. Therefore, the probability of teachers having a talent in singing or writing is equal to 15 over 22. Next one, how about the probability of teachers having a talent in writing or dancing? Again, we have the word or, so this illustrates union of two events. And we will be identifying the given. Sample space is equal to 330, and we will be using the formula for the union of events. Probability of C plus probability of B minus probability of C intersection B. We will be substituting the corresponding value. Probability of event C is equal to 1/3. We have 25 plus 5 plus 20 plus 60 over 330 and get the lowest term, which is 1/3. Plus probability of B is equal to 30 plus 5 plus 20 plus 90 all over 330, and you will get the lowest term, which is equal to 29 over 66, minus the probability of C intersection B. So we have circle C and circle B. So we will be adding these two numbers, the intersection of event C and event B, which is 5 plus 20. So this will be the event outcomes, 25. 5 plus 20 is 25 over 330. And we will get the lowest term, which is equal to 5 over 66. Again, this was already been computed on our earlier examples. And after this, we will be getting the LCD of 3, 66, and 66. And that is 66. 66 divided by 3 is equal to 22. 22 times 1 is 22. 66 divided by 66 is 1. 1 times 29 is 29. And then 66 divided by 66 is equal to 1 times negative 5 is equal to negative 5. And then we will simplify, copy the denominator. 22 plus 29 is equal to 51 minus 5 is equal to 46. So we have 46 over 66. Get the lowest term, that is equal to 23 over 33. Therefore, the probability of teachers having a talent in writing or dancing is equal to 23 over 33. How about the probability of teachers having a talent in singing, dancing, and writing? So we have again the word "and", therefore this illustrates intersection of two events. We will be identifying the given. The sample space again is equal to 330, the total number of teachers. And then we will be looking for the event outcomes, and we will write the formula of simple probability, number of event outcomes all over the total number of possible outcomes in the sample space. To get the number of event outcomes, we will be adding the intersection of the three circles, the portion wherein the three circles overlap with each other. And that portion is this one. So we have 5. So we will be just writing 5 because there is only one number. So we have 5 for the number of event outcomes all over the total number of possible outcomes in sample space, which is equal to 330. And getting the lowest term will be equal to 1 over 66. Therefore, the probability of teachers having a talent in singing, dancing, and writing is equal to 1 over 66. Let's have our last question. What is the probability of teachers having a talent in singing or dancing or writing? So obviously this is an example of union of two events. And to solve for this one, we will be identifying the given, which is equal to 330, the sample space, and we have the event outcomes. So let's try using the probability of simple events. And let's look for the number of event outcomes. Since we are looking for the union of these three events, what we need to do here is just add the numbers inside these three circles. So we will be adding those numbers. So we have 85 plus 30 plus 5 plus 25 plus 90 plus 20 plus 60 all over the sample space, which is equal to 330. And adding these numbers, we will get 315 over 330, and getting the lowest term will be equal to 21 over 22. Therefore, the probability of teachers having a talent in singing or dancing or writing is equal to 21 over 22.